Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party, Starlights. Today, I want to talk about R. Kelly. When the last time he's been the topic? I want to talk about R. Kelly because I saw that there was a TikTok trending, a viral TikTok, I guess you could say, with R. Kelly singing from none other than the prison. He's behind bars, but he is still exercising those vocals. So I want to get into that before we get started. Thank you. Welcome. Please, as you come in, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. But over here, we get into it. We get into the tea, the gossip, the Kool-Aid, the lemonade, the hot chocolate, whatever you want to call it. We get into it. And today we are going to get into our R. Kelly, Robert Kelly, R. Kelly, whatever you want to call him. We getting into it. So, you know how I do over here. We're going to jump over to this story pertaining to this TikTok, this serenade that they're calling it over the telephone. So let me go ahead and share my screen so you can catch the tea with me. So this is from hiphopdx.com. So it reads, R. Kelly serenades fan over the phone from behind bars. What you say? So R. Kelly like, listen, I might not can't attend the BET Awards, the VMAs, the Gospel Awards, whatever you want to call it, but put some respect on my vocals. I still got it, and I can sing over the phone too. So let's get into this article. It says R. Kelly may be behind bars for horrific crimes. That's a strong word, but quite accurate. But clearly, some fans still can't get enough of his singing talents. So on Friday, March 18th, TikTok user Giselle Zoldyck uploaded a video of the disgraced look, they really throwing all shade on this article. The disgraced R&B legend singing for her over the phone from prison. Allegedly, the girl's father is currently incarcerated in the same Brooklyn federal detention facility as R. Kelly and managed to get the 55-year-old singer on the phone. R. Kelly, no, he's just too old to be with these games. There's no reason why he's old behind. Should have been conducting himself as such, and now being behind bars, going into senior citizenhood, like he's ARP all day. Like, bruh, like, let's carry on. Quote, I wanted to ask you something, she says in the clip. Can you sing a song for me? When R. Kelly asks which one, she replies, The Love Letter. Kells then lets out a long sigh before delivering a brief rendition of the 2011 Love Letter title track. The girl and her friend can barely contain themselves as R. Kelly famous pipes come through the phone's speaker. Quote, thank you, they scream through the astonished laughs, to which the incarcerated superstar replies, you're welcome. So let's go ahead, fair use, and play this TikTok.
I wanted to ask you something. Can you sing a song for me?
Which one?
Love Letter? Did you get my call?
Did you get my heart? When you read my love letter.
Yes,
Thank you.
Well, the video has since racked up over 800,000 plays on TikTok, and an additional 2 million views on the Shade Room's Instagram. As the clip went viral, speculation suggests R. Kelly, whose financial troubles are no secret, performed the song in exchange for money, but the notion was quickly shut down by Giselle Zoldyck. Quote, R. Kelly didn't do anything for commentary. She clarified in an Instagram story, I just simply asked him to sing and he said yes, period. So the article goes on to say in September 2021, R. Kelly was found guilty in U.S. District Court in Brooklyn of exploiting his celebrity status to sexually abuse women and children over 2 decades. He was convicted on all 9 charges he was facing, including 8 counts of sex trafficking and 1 count of racketeering. The Ignition star is due to be sentenced May 4th and faces 10 years to life in prison. He is also set to stand trial in Chicago in August on separate child sex images and obstruction charges. So I'm wondering how old was this girl he was serenading, because they like her daddy got him on the line. So I don't know. It's just something that kind of crossed my mind. Like, sir, like, how old is your daughter? I guess he ain't worried because R. Kelly behind bars with him. So I want to also get into an update pertaining to his criminal situation. There's some information that came out as of late that I want to share and hear what you have to say about it. So this is ChicagoTribune.com. The headline reads, Prosecutors in New York City defend R. Kelly racketeering conviction, say evidence was overwhelming. So yes, they're like, listen, this probably about as tight as the Jussie Smollett case. So yeah, they're like, yeah, this is kind of like a slam dunk. But just go ahead. Let's see what this article has to say. Federal prosecutors in New York filed more than 150 pages in legal briefs late Monday defending the Chicago-based singer R. Kelly's conviction last year on racketeering charges, arguing the evidence of his sexual misdeeds was overwhelming and that jurors were properly vetted for any potential bias. So, y'all, I didn't say this before, but this article was dated March 22nd. So this was just yesterday. So it's this new. This is like the most updated information I was able to find pertaining to his case. The filings were a response to motions by Kelly's attorney last month alleging prosecutors misused a federal statute meant to go after gang leaders and that Kelly's ineffective lawyers failed to keep jurors off the panel who'd been tainted by what they'd seen or read about Kelly's exploits. So my thing, we've been talking about Kelly and R. Kelly and his alleged inappropriate deeds forever. Like this goes back to probably since I was like in high school or just graduating high school. So I'm just wondering who out there that speaks the English language would be able to be on this, I guess, be in the jury or be a juror who hasn't learned or heard something pertaining to R. Kelly, like in all their life. Like that part. I'm just wondering, he's such a mega, he was such a mega superstar. I guess he's still famous. I don't know if you still call him a mega superstar. What do you call him now? But he's R. Kelly. He's forever known. Do you call him the infamous R. Kelly? Whatever he may or may not be guilty of, what can't be taken away from him is his accomplishments as in his career as a R&B singer. So, Kels might be like, yo, put some respect on my name, but period, like he was a great singer. A lot of people don't argue that, but a lot of people kind of have canceled R. Kelly and they don't really want to kind of play his music. To be honest, I don't really hear his music on the radio. I may hear it occasionally, when I'm listening to like, I guess Alexa, but if I be like, yo, Alexa, play R&B hits, Alexa might throw in some R. Kelly. But other than that, I don't really hear R. Kelly's music. So with that being said, I'm not quite sure how he's still making money if it's not through radio airplay, which is how a lot of artists make residual, what they call that residual income and things like that. So the article also goes on to say Kelly 54 was convicted September 27th in a U.S. District Court in Brooklyn on racketeering conspiracy charges, alleging he used his music career to further a criminal enterprise. The jury found him guilty of 12 individual illegal acts, including sex with multiple underage girls, as well as a 1994 scheme to bribe an Illinois public aid official to get a phony ID for 15-year-old singer Aaliyah so the two could get married. Lord, Aaliyah name still being brought up into this mess. And baby girl been gone since like the early 2000s. May she rest in peace. In their motion, prosecutors wrote that all of the elements to sustain a racketeering conviction were proved beyond a reasonable doubt, and that claims Kelly's trial was tainted by jurors' bias or errors by his trial attorneys were without merit. Quote, the evidence against the defendant on all charges was overwhelming, and the defendant has presented no evidence to demonstrate that the jury's verdict was based on anything other than the evidence presented at trial, prosecutors wrote. In particular, prosecutors noted that the jury selection in the case effectively drilled down on any preconceived notions potential jurors had about Kelly, including whether they had seen the surviving R. Kelly docuseries and whether they could be fair and render a verdict based solely on the evidence presented in court. Kelly's new attorney, Jennifer Bongine, has blasted Kelly's trial lawyers as serially incompetent and saying that they failed to challenge several jurors who admitted seeing the 2019 program portraying Kelly as a serial predator. So I'm curious to know, how did the new attorney, Jennifer Bongine, learn that some of the jurors had saw that 2019 program? Like, was that information that came out during the vetting, when they, if anyone ever been summoned to jury duty, they ask you questions based off of your response, all these little things that they judge you on, and they determine if whether or not you're going to be the good fit or not. Most people a lot of times pray that they are not selected, but you got some who do want to be selected. So my question is, was during that process, was the question asked at that time, hey, did you see that 2019 program portraying R. Kelly as a predator? And was their answer yes? If their answer was yes, I would be curious to know, how, they got past go, if their answer was yes. If you're looking for people who you feel like that don't really have these preconceived notions about R. Kelly, or maybe who haven't looked at some of the evidence that's going to be presented. I know it may be hard, given that it's R. Kelly, to find somebody who maybe hadn't seen that program, but I would imagine there were people, who were being interviewed who said, no, I didn't see it. So if that person did say yes at that time, I guess that is a fair question that Jennifer Bongine, Kelly's new lawyer could have. I mean, that's a fair question. So the people want to know. So let's proceed. One member of the anonymous panel, juror number 3, admitted on questionnaire that he'd seen the documentary and heard that Kelly has been sleeping with underage girls, while the juror went on to say he could remain impartial. Bongine said that defies logic. So there you go. I guess the person admitted on a questionnaire, like, I don't know. I guess it's going to be interesting to see, what the decision is going to be made on this. I don't know if this article is going to let us know that, because I'm just now looking at it for the first time as I'm conducting this live. But let's see. Let's carry on. Anyone who's seen surviving R. Kelly should have been removed for cause, Bongine wrote in her motion in February. Prosecutors, however, wrote Monday that juror number 3 later acknowledged on the questionnaire that he doesn't know the full story. So I have no feelings about it. I remain impartial. In questioning before the court, the juror said there was, quote, no reason at all why he couldn't give both sides a fair trial, prosecutors said. U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly is unlikely to grant a new trial to Kelly, but the issues being argued before her telegraph what will eventually be presented to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Bonjean has until April 4th to file any reply. So that's y'all right around the corner. Today is Wednesday, March 23rd. So sis has until Monday, April 4th to respond. So meanwhile, Kelly's scheduled May 4th sentencing date is fast approaching. He faces 10 years to life in prison. Y'all, that's a long time. It's a long time, but at the same time, he's only 55. So that means he can get out at like 65. And I would imagine he can probably get time served. I hear, that's the thing. I never been caught up in the system, but I hear that's the whole thing, time served. So, Penny also with the federal, if he's going to go to state, I imagine to me this seemed like some state type prison type stuff. Then you don't really even necessarily have to do year for year. You can, like, some people like do like half. So let's just say he got sentenced 10. I'm looking at say he do 5, and then if you do time served, bruh might be out in like a good 2 years, because it seemed like he's been gone for like about 2 years. I don't know when he got locked up, but it seemed like it's been a minute. It seemed more like about 2 years. So I'm thinking by every time everything's said and done, if they were to like give him credit for time served, which is, like I said, what I'm used to kind of hearing what takes place. And then if he's going to state prison, yeah, he could be out in like 2 years, under 3. That's my thought. Y'all let me know. Like I've said, I'm not about that life, but I ain't gonna say I don't know people who are or who have it in their past. So, people be doing reckless stuff. So often I hear about stuff pertaining to sentencing and all that stuff. So let's see what else this article has to say. Meanwhile, Kelly's scheduled May 4th sentencing date is fast approaching. If he faces 10 years he faces 10 years to prison, 10 years to life in prison. Kelly is currently being held without bond at a federal detention facility in Brooklyn. So it says 10 years to life. So I don't know what that to life part mean, but again, I don't see really him spending the rest of his life like behind bars. I think he'll definitely get out. He'll be, of course, much older, senior citizen status, but I have no doubt, I believe that he'll be getting out. He's I don't know. I just still think that you still gonna have, he's still gonna have a still a loyal fan base that's still gonna be checking for him, especially them ladies. And a lot of people think R. Kelly attractive, and he just don't spark me as that type of guy that even while he's doing his time, he would let himself go and not come out still looking like an attractive older man now. So I think he's still gonna have his fan base, and it is what it is. Hashtag free R. Kelly. I hear a lot of people out on the net, a lot of people are team R. Kelly. I see it, believe it or not. And a lot of them are women. A lot of women are like, yo, free the Kels. Like yesterday, free the Kels. So let's see. The article goes on to say Bonjean has hinted she may ask for a delay of the sentencing hearing pending Kelly's trial on a separate federal case brought in Chicago, which is currently set for August. So again, as I was talking about how long he can be down, I guess that's just for one case. He still got a whole nother one that he got to stand up. He got to fight in August. So who knows what that sentencing going to be. So I guess when you start adding multiple, sentencing, then, I don't know. I guess all that I said, I don't know. I'm gonna have to take that back, but we just got to see how it go. I know based off of the first little sentencing, I'm thinking like he gonna see the light of day again, but we got to see how that second one turned out. But listen, Bill Cosby managed to get out. Somebody was praying to all the gods for him, and he managed to get out. So many people didn't see that one happening. I still really don't really know the full details as to what went down that resulted into, things, I guess, I don't know if things were overturned or how he was able to get out. It wasn't really a situation that I really explored in depth, but listen, we've seen listen, Jussie Smollett is walking these streets. Like, dude did a whole 6 days. So like, clearly anything is possible. Anything is possible, y'all. Again, if you're here, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. As I say, we real random over here, but we get into it. So you definitely want to be a part of the party and participate. starlights. So listen, a lot of strange things have been happening thus far, and we just still at the top of 2022. So let's see what else. It says the singer is charged. Let's see. The singer is charged here with running a multi-year scheme to buy back sex tapes he allegedly made with underage girls and to bribe or coerce witnesses in his 2008 child pornography trial in Cook County, which ended in acquittal. Y'all, it be a lot be going on in Cook County. Wasn't that was Cook County where Jesse Smollett stuff got, um went down at? Like a lot go down in the Chi-Town. Like, let's just say that. I've never been, but I've heard a lot about Chicago. Let's just say that. Other indictments alleging sexual abuse by Kelly brought in Cook County in February 2019 have yet to be scheduled for trial. So they talk like, listen, so when I talked about bruh getting out, women still chasing after him, throwing their underwear. I don't know now, because they reminded me that he had other he had other trials to go and defend himself in. So I guess that, it's not looking good for the kid. It's not, but as of right now, with the one, I guess, that he was found guilty of, I mean, I feel like he can see the day of light, but I don't know, y'all. I mean, he might be getting a wheelchair, getting wheeled up out of there if he lived that long. So I don't know. He might continue to just be singing more songs through the phone at the prison, at this rate. Listen, if you want to sing and look like that's just gonna be how it's gonna be, your stuff just gonna have to be floating around on TikTok and the shade room. I don't know what else to tell you. So that's the update I had for R. Kelly. I'm gonna continue to follow this. Let me see. Let me jump over to this one last article. This one was actually February, when his new lawyer, I think when she kind of first started, questioning the quality of the first trial. Let me see, because it got a lot of details. R. Kelly's new lawyer argues for another trial acquittal. So this one was dated February 18th. Let's see. There was something interesting I want to see. So prosecutors described the disgraced R&B star as a predator, a man who for decades used his fame, his popularity, and network of people at his disposal to target, groom, and exploit girls, boys, and young men for his own sexual gratification. Y'all, that's one of them hide your wife, your kids, your husband type, situation. They like, listen, Kel's like what he likes, so ain't nobody safe. Everybody can get it. That's what's been alleged. During Kelly's trial, the prosecution called 45 witnesses. 11 of those witnesses were Kelly's accusers. 9 were women, and then there were 2 men. The charges involved 6 women: Geronda Pace, Jane, Stephanie, Sonia, Faith, and late singer Aaliyah. Kelly is scheduled to be sentenced May 4, 2022. Prosecutors maintain that Kelly and his crew had a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the enterprise to prop up his music and brand while luring victims into unlawful, abusive sexual activities. So in Bonjean's new motion, she argued that the racketeering charge, formerly named the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organization RICO statute, didn't apply in Kelly's case, and that using this law went beyond its legal intent. She argued that prosecutors didn't prove there was a criminal enterprise, writing that despite its bullying tactics, the government came up short on evidence that all of defendants' employees who made up this vague enterprise were working as a continuing unit to ensure defendant could engage not just in sex, but illegal sex. At one point in Bonjean's legal argument, she said that the government constructed a RICO theory of prosecution designed not to ineffectuate the purpose of the RICO statute, but to prosecute the defendant for alleged misdeeds going back decades without pesky statutes of limitation obstacles. Bonjean also claimed that prosecutors erred in prosecuting Kelly under the Mann Act. So sis, whoever this attorney is, she coming in swinging. She like, yo, throw it all out. We need to start over. They on some, like I said, I keep going back to Jesse Smollett when they were like, yo, Jesse, I know they said you was good, but we need you to come on back to court. And he went through trial again. That's why, his attorneys got him out on the belief that double jeopardy took place with him, where he was prosecuted twice. So that was the argument, basically, which is why he was able to walk out of the jails after serving only 6 days. So just that little tidbit about that case. Quote, while the Mann Act may be an effective tool for combating human trafficking, it was not designed to punish sexual misconduct like that alleged against defendant Bonjean wrote, where defendants alleged transportation of females, largely consenting adults, was incidental to his travels as a world-renowned performer. He is not guilty of Mann Act violations. If the government intends to prosecute Mann Act violations in the fashion it did here, it might consider investigating the many influential, wealthy, mostly white corporate leaders who frequently arrange travel for paramours who later conclude that the experience was less than pleasant. So this lawyer, she's like, I don't know if he got money to pay her, but like she definitely earning that check. She's like, we need to start all over because there's some stuff, some foolishness going on, and we not going for it. So it sounds like, whoever this person is that R. Kelly has retained for his legal representation, she sounds like she's somebody who's on her stuff, whether you believe he's guilty or not. What I'm saying is that he definitely has a fighter, in his corner, which is quite the contrary of how many people felt about the YouTuber Tasha K's legal team that went up against Cardi B and her legal team. So as for Bonjean's argument that Kelly received inadequate representation, she argued that his lawyers dropped the ball during jury selection, failing to challenge then prospective jurors who provided worrisome answers on screening questionnaires. Some of the people ultimately picked for the jury had seen a documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, while others expressed views that raised red flags about impartiality. Bonjean pointed to juror number 4 as an example of this and included a copy of several questions and answers to illustrate her point. Y'all, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's going to be interesting to see, if they're going to go ahead and go with this. This lawyer has raised some fair points, some fair points. I personally happen to be on the side of this man, is guilty. He's done a lot of wrongful things, and it's just unfortunate that it was allowed to go on for as long as it did, or that as long as it has. I think it could have been shut down many, many years ago. But because he was R. Kelly, many people just turned the blind eye. And I happen to believe that when the industry are no longer rocking with you, they're like, whatever, we're not going to protect you no more. And whatever you get, you get. And I think that's what's happening. And I think that's largely too why many people are Team R. Kelly, because at this point, they don't really feel like it's really about his misdeeds. It's more personal where, okay, he's not somebody who's playing by our rules. So with that being said, we're not going to protect him anymore. And we're just going to let him go down. Kind of like, that same energy, that same Bill Cosby energy. So I've heard people kind of speak from that angle. So the argument is, okay, do you feel like, he should be let out because it's just the system trying to lock the black man down for their whatever personal reasons? Or do you feel like, nah, regardless of whatever the system's reasons are, what we do know is he was in violation with young girls, many of them being underage. And for that, he needs to be dealt with, even if that is by the quote unquote white man. So those are two different arguments, that I've heard out there. And I think they are both strong arguments, but I happen to kind of weigh on the side of, Kel's, you did. I mean, there's women and young girls who have testified or whatever that inappropriate things did take place, and you gotta deal with that. You gotta deal with that. So that's where I stand on this. But I would definitely like to know your thoughts and opinions. Please drop them in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. But I want to know what your thoughts are. Like, are you like hashtag free R. Kelly, or hashtag lock him up and throw away the key? Like, what side are you? Team Kelly, or are you team Kelly survivors? Like, what side of the coin are you on? The people want to know. But as I stated, April, come April, no, is it May? It was like he got to go back May 4th. May 4th, he's scheduled for sentencing. But his attorney has until April 4th to, file a reply or whatever pertaining to, I guess, her beliefs that the first trial was inadequate and should be thrown in the trash. And I guess they should start over. So let me know, y'all. So this is Sheik from Sheik Say What signing out, and I will catch you on the next broadcast. Peace.